Welcome to the Fit Vegan Podcast, the show where we help you optimize your health, fitness, and mindset on a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. My name is Maxime Sigouin. I am a former triathlete, powerlifter, bodybuilder, and basketball player, and I've been vegan for 9 years. I've also been able to coach over 350 vegans from 20 different countries to completely transform their bodies and their health. I'm excited for you to listen to today's episode. Let's get into the show. All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fit Vegan Podcast. So today I wanted to record this episode for those of you that are struggling a little bit to find time to include your workout or either meal prepping into your day-to-day life, into your weekly schedule, and you just can't find a way to prioritize it. So there's so many different roads that I can go down with trying to explain this, but the main one is that it needs to become a priority. And as much as you can say that it is a priority to you, I love this beautiful quote by Gandhi, which is action expresses priority. So where you're actually spending your time is what you're actually prioritizing. And so I don't know what that is for your specific situation, but it might be that you're spending, an hour, that you're wasting an hour in bed in the morning to get up from your bed. It might be that you're watching 3-4 hours of Netflix at night, that you're scrolling 1 or 2 hours on TikTok and Instagram before you go to bed. It might be that you're scrolling on your phone throughout the day. Like there's so many time wasters that are taking place during the day that you're doing potentially unconsciously, but that you're still doing, and that therefore it is expressing the type of priorities that you currently have. And so if you want to make a shift in how you're living your life so that you can actually work towards the goal that you want, you have to make a conscious shift. So there's this great book by Craig Ballantyne. He has one that says The Perfect Day and one that's called The Perfect Week. So what I recommend that you do is that on a Sunday night, or even right now, you look at your week, right? You map out just a blank calendar, Monday to Sunday, and you have everything blocked off by 1 hour blocks. And then you go in and you schedule your non-negotiables. For example, your work is a non-negotiable. So you put in there, okay, I start work from, for example, 9 to 5, right? Those are the time that my non-negotiable for working. How long does it take you to commute to work? Maybe it takes you 30 minutes, right? You start at 8:30 and then 5:30 you come home from work. If you have traffic, whatever, you just adjust. You literally put the driving times because those are non-negotiables. You have to get to work, right? And then your other non-negotiables, right? After your work is in there would be one, family time. Second would be date night if you have a partner. And then the third one is you look at your schedule and where am I going to put my workouts? Either 3 to 5 times a week. If you're just getting started, 3 is a great place to start. And you need to block off at least 45 minutes to an hour because you need to take into account that you're going to have to potentially drive there. If you're training from home, then you're saving on that driving time. But you're going to work out for at least 45 minutes by the time you get warmed up, train, cool down, then stretch, and you're actually done your session. So you look at your schedule, work, driving to work, family time, date time, workout time, and then if you want to go a step above, you're going to schedule your meal prep times. Our members have found a lot of success in doing meal prep on Sundays and on Wednesday evening. So they prep their food from Sunday until Wednesday evening. And on Wednesday evening, they prep their food until Saturday because it's important to have some structure on the weekend. So they prep their food for the next 4 days. And they found that that worked really well for them. And you can become very efficient at meal prepping and you can get the whole thing done in 30 to 45 minutes. Right? You have an oven, if you have a crock pot, those are all tools that are going to help you make that process a lot faster. And so once you schedule those times in, you're going to see that there's still a lot of time available, right? And then you're going to go see, all right, what time do I need to wake up for work? What time do I need to go to bed? Not the time that you say that you're going to go to bed and then you scroll on your phone for an additional hour or two. Like what's the actual time that you're going to go to bed? And you'll see that there's a lot of blank space left, right? And then in there, you can schedule in, hey, here every night I'm going to watch 30 minutes of Netflix with my partner or an hour of Netflix with my partner. But at least that way, everything has been put into your calendar for the things that are actually important to you. Because the way I like to explain a calendar and schedule, and I'm very organized and disciplined with my calendar and my schedule, is it's kind of like having additional storage in your house, right? You have a bunch of drawers in your kitchen that you don't necessarily use. What happens throughout the years, they just get filled with crap, right? You opened it, there's a few extra Allen keys from the IKEA set that you bought a long time ago. There's a few batteries. There's a few manual from your crock pot. There's some cables for your internet. There's some change in there, right? Over the years, things will just accumulate in that drawer. We just tend to fill up dead space with random shit. It's the exact same thing with your schedule. If you don't consciously select how you want to live your life and fill the gaps with the things that actually matter to you, it's going to be dead time, and you're just going to find a way to waste it. Like, you have to live during that time, right? Your life doesn't stop. So you're going to be on your phone, you're going to be chilling on your couch, you're going to be doing something else. So I find it very important for you to consciously make an effort to properly map out what a day is going to look like. Potentially, one thing I like to do is make a little video of like how I structured my day and my week. I'm very efficient with my time, and I'm able to get a lot done. With obviously, I'm strength training 5 times a week right now, cardio once a week, so we're already looking at 6 times right there. I'm running 3 companies, and walking the dog, spending quality time with my fiance. So there's a lot of things happening that I'm still able to manage, just because I'm very efficient with my time. So that is the first thing. The other thing is more of like a shift in mindset when it comes to you finding the time for the things that you want. And I'm just going to share this from personal experience. If you're used to going really fast in one direction, so maybe you're working a lot more hours than most people do, and we're asking you to cut back on 2 of those hours so that you can, so that you can work out, for example, you might feel like you're being less productive. If I'm asking you to cut on 1 hour or 2 hours of Netflix every night, you might feel like you're having less me time than you're used to. And then you might feel like, well, I'm depriving myself from the thing that makes me happy. Well, ultimately, the thing that will make you happy in the long run, and I'm talking about like genuine happiness and actually you feeling good, is having a healthier and fitter body. Netflix won't give you that, right? They're just going to take your money and take your time. And so there needs to be a shift in mindset, because if you spend 100% of your time in one lane and then we add a second lane, well, you're going to have to spend less time on the first lane, right? For those of you guys that have kids, I just talked about this with one of our members yesterday on our one-on-one coaching calls. It's like when you have one kid, you can give 100% of your attention. And then when you have 2 kids, well, your attention gets divided. And then when you have 3 kids, your attention's even more divided, right? It doesn't mean that you love the first one less and you love the third one. It's just there's 3 of them. So you have to deal with them separately, right? So once you're doing something, be present with it, but it won't be all of it. So what I mean by that is your life won't be all work. It won't be all Netflix. It will be like portions of little things. And then ultimately it comes down to my favorite saying is that consistency compounds. I don't need you to do massive 2-3 hour workouts every day, which I've seen people do, which are very unsustainable. Like, you have other things to do. Consistency compounds. Every day you do work, at the end of the month, it compounds to you having your salary. Every day you spend time to your family, which leads to you building a better relationship with your partner and with your kids. And then every day you're going to work out, which ultimately is going to compound to you having a healthier and fitter body. Every day you're going to eat healthy, which is going to compound to you having a healthier and fitter body. Like, those small actions every day make a tremendous difference. And I feel like what stops a lot of people from scheduling that into their schedule is that, like, well, I can't do it perfectly right now, therefore I'm not going to take it on until I can take this on properly. It's called the time fallacy, right? Like, when this happened, then I'll do it. When I have time, then I'll do it. When the situation is perfect, then I'll do it. The issue is that time never happens. I just want to prove it to you. I invite you to think back at a time where you had nothing going on for 6 months to a year. Like, literally nothing happened. You did the exact same thing every day. There was no emergency. There was no trips. There was no social events. There was no birthday parties. There was nowhere you had to be. Right? You can't think of any time. There's always something happening. That's why it's critical for you to start now, because you need to start developing the skills and tools to allow you to stay on track even when it's not the right time, even when it's not the perfect environment. You need to be able to navigate that. You need to become more resilient, because never in your life will the environment be perfect for long enough of a time frame for you to reach your goal. You're going to have to learn to reach your goal while getting punched in the face left and right as you progress through life. You're going to have to learn to stay on track with the things that matter to you, even when it's inconvenient, even when you're tired, even when there's an emergency, even when you have to work a little bit longer. You need to learn to be able to navigate these things, because if you're waiting for the perfect time, honestly, it's just making you soft and not resilient. And you'll never, ever, ever reach your goal if that's the mindset with which you're approaching you wanting to become fitter and healthier. It needs to be deeply ingrained into who you are, that you show up no matter what. This is not about motivation. This is about commitment, right? Motivation is based off emotions, right? If you feel motivated, therefore you will do the thing. I feel motivated maybe 40%, 50% of the time. The other 50% of the time, I do it because it's important to me and I know it'll bring me to the goal that I want to reach. That's the only reason I show up half of the time, is because I don't really care how I feel. I am committed to reaching this goal, and therefore I'm going to show up. I don't want to wake up every morning and sit on my computer for 4 hours of deep work, but I do it because I'm committed to the goal of being able to impact the lives of millions of people. And so that's what drives me. I get up and I do it. And for you, I understand that potentially you might feel that your goal is a little bit vain, right? Some of you have like really big health issues. Some of you have small health issues. Some of you have had health scares. And some of you, it's more for just aesthetic reason that you want to transform. And that's totally fine. But I want you to think of the bigger picture. Is potentially right now it is for aesthetic reasons. But as you get older, you want to bulletproof your body. You want to disease-proof your body to not get sick. Having a six-pack now doesn't guarantee you that you're going to disease-proof your body in the future. You need to be doing it the right way, the whole food plant-based way. Right? And so think of the longer term effect of the actions that you would be taking right now. Is it allowing you to live a long, healthy, and mobile life where your body, you're not limited by your body is not in pain, you're able to have a ton of energy and feel amazing on a day-to-day basis? That's what I want you to think of. The last analogy I want to share with you, just to wrap up the idea that you can find time in your life, that you just need to budget your time wisely, is the equivalent for those of you guys that wants to buy a property and you have debt to pay off, right? If you're making your income, you probably have a bank account. You probably have an account that is for like paying off your debt, right? You're putting your money on your credit card. You probably have an account where you're putting savings to buy a home, and then another account for like emergency funds. So if you have your income and you're putting a percentage towards debt, a percentage towards saving for a down on a house, and a percentage towards your emergency fund, well, you have to split the amount of money between those three accounts that you have left over, right? But what if all your debt was paid off? Then you could put more into your savings. You can put more into your emergency funds. And then if your debt is paid off and your emergency fund is built, then you're going to be able to put a lot more money into your savings account to put it down on the house, right? It just makes sense. There's a certain amount of money and it has to be divided by either 1, 2, or 3 accounts. So it's the same thing with your time. There's not just one bank account. There's multiple bank accounts. One bank account is your work. The other bank account is your family. Your third bank account is yourself. So you need to be able to invest in those 3 things. And then obviously a relationship with friends and family. So we'll put it to 4 bank accounts. You need to be able to invest in those 4 bank accounts. The percentage in which you put into those accounts is totally dependent on you, but those are the 4 bank accounts that you need to invest to. Because if you put all of it into career and work, you're going to have a depleted bank account with your family, with your health, and the relationship with the people around you. If you put all of it into friends and family and having a fun time, your career bank account might be really low, right? And your health might be really low. If you put all of it into your health, but you don't take care of your family and you don't work, then you're going to be broke with no friends, but you're going to be really fit. So you need to be able to choose the percentage of which you're going to put towards those 4 accounts and to create the balanced outcome. Again, if you make, just for really simple math, you make $4,000 a month, right? You put $1,000 towards career, for example, $1,000 towards your family, $1,000 towards yourself, $1,000 towards the relationship with parents and friends, all right? It'll take you longer to get to $10,000 in each of those accounts if you have 4 accounts versus if you have 1 account, right? It'll take you about 2.5 months to put $10K in 1 account versus if you have 4 accounts, it'll take you 10 months, right? So about 5 times longer. But ultimately, you are getting there while having that balance. And that balance is critically important because, again, like we talked about, if you sacrifice one, you're going to pay for it. You can have a lot of money, but be unhealthy, which is very common. You can be very healthy, but have no money. You can have a good relationship with your friends, but terrible, like you don't have a career anymore, right? Because you're spending all your time hanging out with your friends. Like there's so many scenarios when you neglect one of them. So it's okay if it takes you 5 times longer. The important part is that you actually get there and you enjoy the process and you have fun along the way and you're actually happy about it, right? So I hope this analogy kind of drives it back home to you. Big thing I invite you to do is have a blank canvas of your week and then map in your non-negotiables, right? This is my time for my morning routine. This is my time to drive to work. This is my time for work. This is my time for workout. This is my time for family time. This is my time for date night. Schedule all those things in, and I promise you'll see a dramatic difference in the balance of your life and how much you're actually able to accomplish in a year, 5-year, 10-year timeline. Right? So guys, I hope this podcast was valuable. I want every single one of you to succeed. That's why I record these shows 3 times a week. And so if you find this valuable, feel free to leave a 5-star review, leave a little comment on what connected with you the most. And I will see you guys in the next episode on Wednesday, which will be with a very special doctor that I'm super excited to record with. I'm going to record with in a few hours actually. So very excited for you guys to listen to this one. And I'll see you guys in the next show. Ciao.